Hello and welcome back to Football Daily, where today we're running through 5 clubs that are ready for a takeover in 2023. Let's go. 5. Manchester United. It's a good time to be a Manchester United fan. Yes, they may not be top of the Premier League and they are still some way short of their Sir Alex Ferguson heyday, but after a challenging period that saw them lurch from crisis to crisis under Jose Mourinho, Ralf Rangnick and to a lesser extent Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, they now seem to be trending in the right direction under Erik Ten Hag. His new recruits signed in the summer, such as Martinez, Eriksen and Casemiro, have lifted the quality of the side in central midfield and defence, and he's brought about a resurgence in form from the likes of Dalot, Luke Shaw, De Gea and most crucially Marcus Rashford, who's returned to his 2020-2021 levels. They may still be some way behind Arsenal, but having picked up more points than any other side bar the Gunners across the last 16 games, the Old Trafford faithful are starting to believe that the good times are just around the corner. Adding to the sense of quiet optimism on the red side of Manchester is the news that the Red Devils' despised owners, the Glazers, are currently sounding out suitors to take over the club, finally ending their reign that stretched back to 2005, which loaded United with a debt that is now around £500 million and which has cost the club over £1 billion to service. Supposedly wanting to sell the club by April, Sir Jim Ratcliffe is reportedly readying a multi-billion pound bid, whilst investors from the Middle East, Asia and the US are also poised to go public in the coming weeks. It seems like the good times could well be back at Old Trafford. 4. Espanyol. It can't be easy being an Espanyol fan. Perpetually in the shadows of their city rivals Barcelona, the Parakeets have finished in the top 10 of La Liga just twice in the last 11 years, a period that has seen the Blaugrana win 22 trophies, including 5 La Liga titles. On paper, things might look pretty good for Diego Martinez's side, as they sit 14th in their second season back in the top flight, following their surprise relegation at the end of the 1920 campaign. But that doesn't tell the whole story. Whilst they might appear comfortable in mid-table, they're only 1 point clear of 19th place Sevilla, and given the fact they've only won 1 of their last 12 league games, they can't afford to rest on their laurels. It's fair to say though that they have been asking to some degree for their current malaise, with their net spend sitting at just €1.7 million since the start of the 15-16 season. In that time they've sold players such as Pau Lopez, Juan Jordan, Gerard Moreno, Borja Iglesias, Mario Hermoso and Marc Roca, all of whom have gone on to contribute to clubs playing European football. Who has overseen this decline then? Espanyol's Chinese owners are the Rastar Group, who bought a 56% stake in the club in November 2015, a few months after the Chinese property conglomerate Dalian Wanda Group bought a stake in Atletico Madrid. Rumours surfaced in November 2022 that a potential sale to an American investor was progressing to no avail, whilst there's even been talk that PSG might look to take the club over as they look to create their own football group in a similar style to Man City. This is a never-changing scenario, but we really wouldn't be surprised to see Espanyol change hands in 2023. 3. Leeds. Further along than any deal on this list is the sale of Leeds United to 49ers Enterprises, the investment arm of the NFL team, the San Francisco 49ers. Having first invested in the club 4.5 years ago, a full takeover has been on the cards for months, with Leeds chairman Andrea Radrizzani telling Corriere della Sera that they need resources to reach higher levels and compete with the best clubs in the league. It's clear that this would be beneficial. Although the club did fantastically well to attract Marcelo Bielsa to Yorkshire and return to the Premier League for the first time in 16 years in 1920, their league form has somewhat stagnated this season. After finishing 9th in 2020-2021, they finished 3 points clear of relegation last term and find themselves in the midst of an 8-team battle to avoid the drop in 2022-2023. Leeds have spent quite a lot of money since returning to the Premier League, with Jorginho Rutter their 5th signing of over £20 million. But in order to break into Europe, of course the stated aim of Radrizzani, the investment will only have to increase. With the 49ers now owning a 40% stake in Leeds, they've already paid a sizable chunk it would take to buy the club permanently. It would be best for Leeds to have this situation resolved as soon as possible though, with multiple shareholders potentially leading to a lack of clearly defined roles, leadership and strategy in steering the club's long-term direction and transfer business. Potentially exciting times for the Whites fans, but they'll want to get this one sorted pretty quickly. 2. Valencia. When it comes to clubs and turbulent ownership battles, few can rival that of Valencia and their current owner Peter Lim and his board. Los Che faithful have found themselves regularly protesting against the Singaporean businessman, who took over the club in 2014 for a sum of €100 million. It seems that the summer of 2022 proved to be the biggest disappointment for Valencia fans under Lim's watch, with the club choosing to dismiss Jose Bordalas. The Spaniard had managed to make a Copa del Rey final that year whilst also finishing 9th, which was their joint best finish since 4th in 1890. It seemed they may finally be making some small progress as a club. Despite many protests since, Lim remains in charge at the Mestalla, although there have been talks about a potential change of regime for the La Liga outfit. Former Chelsea owner Roman Abramovich was rumoured to be in talks last year, as well as previous vice president Miguel Zorrijo. With the club currently sitting 12th in La Liga, 9 points behind the European spots, fans beckon for a return to the glory days that saw them lift La Liga titles as well as appear in Champions League finals. Whilst the club clearly needs some work to restore them to their previous heights, and their stadium, which has been work halted since 2009, will need finishing, Valencia certainly have the pieces to be an exciting project once again. 1. Liverpool. It's been quite the turbulent season for Liverpool, with some hit and miss form in the league, seeing them sat closer to mid-table than the top of the league. Adding to this is the uncertainty over their ownership, which has rumbled on since November. Current owners, the Fenway Sports Group, acquired the club in 2010 and have had a fairly successful run in recent years, capped off with winning both the Premier League and the Champions League. However, there has been growing frustration amongst the Kop faithful over their lack of investment in the first team. Since the arrival of Jurgen Klopp, the Reds rank behind Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal, Chelsea and Spurs when it comes to net spend, with a figure of £240 million since the summer of 2016, which understandably has seen the fans becoming pretty unsettled. Despite their current drop in form, Liverpool remain one of the biggest clubs in the world and have not been short of interest since being put up for sale by FSG, with Jurgen Klopp having recently told the press that discussions have been taking place behind the scenes. Whilst they may not be at their brilliant best right now on the pitch, they've still managed to tie important figures like Jurgen Klopp and Mo Salah down to long-term contracts recently, as well as signing future talents like Cody Gakpo and Darwin Núñez. However, The Athletic this week have reported that there's yet to be any firm discussions on exactly what happens next, with FSG also preferring to sell a minority stake rather than the entire club, although they've still not completely ruled that idea out. So with a perceived current lack of interest and another major club in the Premier League also looking to sell, it's going to be interesting to see whether FSG get rid of the whole club or just some of it. So that was our list of 5 clubs that could be taken over in 2023. Manchester United fans, I want to hear from you in particular after the news that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is interested in taking over the club, and ahead of other videos we're going to do in the future. Is he the man you want to lead United forward? Liverpool fans too, let's hear from you. Do you want minority sale or do you want a full sale? If you enjoyed this video, there's plenty more videos on Football Daily, including the likes of Sunday Vibes, We Need to Talk and Winners and Losers. Make sure you hit that like button, hit subscribe. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. We'll catch you later. Bye.